So there's another video I want to get this out of the way, and the topic that involves with the whole like video game music isn't real music thing. So this is by a very small channel. He has some pretty interesting stuff, even though like I think he mostly just uploads whenever he feels like it. Oh God, I hope I don't get banned for this. This is a 3-month-old video, and is a man shirtless. But yeah, this oh, he has a Persona. Wow, Persona 3 is still awesome, if you ask. Oh, that's pretty cool. I remember I was making a joke uh during the whole like the when I was reacting to the video of the where he was complaining about Super Hot VR having like a self-harm segment. Although it's like it's more of like you have to do it in game to like start the game, but although I don't think I've heard any complaints about Persona 3 yet, where it's like shooting yourself in order to summon Persona is encourages self-harm on social media. Like the only complaints I've only seen was they were complaining about like, uh this character uh gay or some it's something ridiculous. I don't want to describe it in full detail in all honesty, but let's see. The but yeah, video game music isn't real music. I As far as I know, I think I listen to a lot of like I think back then I listened to like some popular music that usually plays on radio, and then I moved on to just listening to nothing but like dance music. I even re-uploaded like some music stuff to YouTube, but I don't like I don't it's not monetized or anything. It's just this it's more of like I listen to it because I just wanted my own a freaking playlist. So let's see.
If I had to rank the top 10 most pretentious debates of all time, I could almost guarantee that more than half of them would
I'm putting GBF in the background because I'm a degenerate, and two, the music for Grand Blue Fantasy is fucking bomb. So the OST is great.
be debates regarding the subject of music. If people have an opinion on anything, they have an opinion on music. With the rise of critical music reviewers such as Anthony Fantano and hip-hop Twitter accounts, there's been a significant rise in people viewing music through a narrow and objective lens. The inherent problem with this is that it goes against pretty much everything that art is supposed to be. No number or arbitrary rules can truly express something so intrinsic to the soul of human culture, such as music. Regardless of this notion, people continue to throw out arbitrary rules and concepts of what music is and is not. Among these absurd rules is the idea of real and fake music that people tend to throw around. There's a lot of things that people like to call fake music, and one of the most popular targets of this label is video game music. This opinion that is held by far too many people.
Is he using Persona music in this video?
Doesn't sound like Persona.
Music
Okay,
used in
I'm just retarded.
yeah. Oh wow, he has a pretty interesting selection of it. Oh no, he's using Gorilla God. I hope I don't get copyrighted for that. Fuck. God damn it. Like all of these are fine. It's just that I don't want to get like if you put like an anime music, then there's a possibility I could get claimed for this shit.
People is asinine for a variety of reasons, but I think Pink Eye said it best.
Oh, we want real music. We want real music. We want Joji music. Bro, I didn't even know real and fake music existed. I mean, I think it's like your fault for putting that shit into categories. Like, music is music. If you don't think this is real music, that's your fucking problem.
I've heard this argument about video game music from a handful of friends and people on the internet. Although I do not necessarily understand the rationale of this argument, I do want to attempt to deconstruct why people may view video game music under this cloudy lens. Writing off the artistic value of video game soundtracks feels like it's in the same vein as people who write off video game music as an artistic medium because it's different compared to the likes of cinema and literature. By evaluating what real music and fake music is, and by taking a look at the differences between video game music and traditional music, perhaps
Wait, was there really someone online that said that video game music is fake music? Because I mean, if it is, then I look, music is subjective. That is all I can say. Like, I don't think I don't think it needs like infighting to in order to understand like that you for the sake of like making making up a playlist so you can just listen to music while doing something else in your own free time.
Perhaps we can dismantle the devaluing of video game music as a form of creative expression. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Morg. Video game music is real music, and I'm here to talk about it.
Oh God, this audio is really loud though. I might have to, there we go.
In today's day and age, with the rise of streaming services and other platforms to consume media, it has become easier than ever to digest a variety of different art forms. Being able to have a wide variety of movies and songs available to you with no additional cost aside from your initial subscription makes it extremely easy to take the value of artistic mediums for granted. We consume so much that it's difficult to truly sit down, process, and understand the value of what it is we're consuming. We now live in a time where we can easily experience all the music the world has to offer instantaneously from pretty much anywhere, which is something that no other generation in history has ever had
This is a
before.
kind of special
The
question.
value that music has lost because of this over the years affects the careers and
Because it was a
livelihoods
free
of traditional
quest.
recording
Oh, shit.
artists. And this is extremely self-evident if you look at Spotify's artist cuts per stream. And one could also argue that this devaluation of their art extends to video game music as well. The aforementioned critics like Anthony Fantano and Twitter threads debating music make it very clear that there's only so much room for certain kinds of music in the discussion. Since the common person can now easily access music and put their opinion on the internet, lots of opinionated groups and toxic fan bases have formed, and it's quite obvious that a lot of instrumental music, video game music no less, has no place in the discussion. One has to ask why we view music from games differently. Is it due to the context in which it exists? Does the devaluing of modern art have anything to do with it? And how does the way we treat artists today negatively affect the matter?
Yeah, I think arguments like when it comes to music is kind of silly in my opinion. I mean then
It's
again
good
like
music is good music,
yeah,
regardless of what media it's originally coming from.
you know, that's the funny thing, right? I used to listen to like a lot of like mainstream pop music at the time when I was like
Hmm.
like in junior high or some shit. But and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I revolved into listening to like I don't know, Toho remixes. I listened to that. I even like when I was playing Halo, I loved the music for like
Yeah.
for Halo 1 and onwards, the music. And, you know, in later releases like when they remixed like certain like old Halo tracks, they were great. It's like they doing a little bit of a remix and polish and stuff. But
Hmm.
I mean, I listen. I mean, I can't really list a like bunch of like pop artists at the top of my head, but it's like the last time I listened to was like Dua Lipa and um, what was that one? What's that one dude that was a former member of One Direction? I,
Mm.
well, either way, I don't always listen to video game music all the time. I mean, I listen to like you know Eurodance and well, people. The only time and anytime okay Eurobeat. The only time I will talk whenever I ask like do you know have you ever listened to Eurobeat before? And people only just know it because for the memes and they don't know like you know like more additional tracks. The only tracks they only know of was Deja Vu and Nights of Fire for the memes and all this stuff. And some, I mean, there is more than. I'm pretty sure they know more tracks than that, but I love rave dance tracks. I think I used to listen to rap music at the time, but
Hmm.
I think I've grown out of it. I know there are some good ones.
All music, regardless of who made it or why it was made, exists with some kind of context behind it. Music by the likes of Pink Guy exists under the context that it's a joke, while other
Pink
pieces
guy.
such as No Surprises by
Hmm.
Radiohead exist to express complex feelings such as deep-rooted depression. With that in mind, how does context apply to music heard in games? Video game music acts much like a film score in that it is intended to complement what is being portrayed to the audience, but it's also quite different in that it also has to accomplish a lot of specific things to properly fit within the context in which it exists. In the case of tracks that have to be in the background of certain levels or scenes, the songs have to be catchy, not get annoying after a long time, and they also
True.
have to be able to loop back into themselves. If we're going by the traditional example of video game music, then songs like the 1-1 theme from Super Mario Bros. Fits this quite well. The problem is that it's not quite that simple. Video games are so different from other mediums because they are interactive. This actually makes music even more powerful in games because of this. The interactivity of games allows developers to utilize music as a tool to create experiences that simply couldn't exist anywhere else. No other piece of media can replicate the ladder scene from Metal Gear Solid 3, or the comfort that comes from hearing the Firelink Shrine song slowly fade in when playing Dark Souls, or even some of the awesome moments in Death Stranding when Kojima flexes his taste in music while you're casually playing the game.
I think I got Death Stranding as a free to keep on and
Heck.
yeah, and I know people give a lot of shit for Epic Games, but I got Death Stranding as a free to keep. I don't think, from the looks of it, the visuals are are pretty cool. So I don't know. Death Stranding is on my list. I know it's like one of those Amazon deliver your shit simulator type of thing, but also
Hmm.
maintaining the the fetus thing or whatever. I forgot how they call it. I know there's a lore behind it that is like somewhere. Yeah.
The interactivity of games allows developers to contextualize music in some of the most ingenious ways, which simply isn't possible with any other art form out there. At the same time, though, there's also fairly traditional pieces that exist in games that could easily exist by themselves without ever having been in a game. You can't tell me that the Mario Galaxy soundtrack isn't real music just because it was in Mario Galaxy. Because I know for a goddamn fact that if Mozart made the exact same songs hundreds of years ago, they'd be heavily lauded and praised as classical landmarks. In this sense, context is both a blessing and a curse for songs in video games. Although it can make the music into this crazy interactive experience that you'll always remember, many disregard it simply because it's from a game. If people took the time to actually listen to and realize what was there, they'd realize that music from games has the capacity to be absolutely brilliant and match.
True, because when you're playing Halo, I keep bringing Halo as an example. God damn it. I think the context always matters when it comes to playing Halo. You're driving a fucking Scorpion tank. You need some fucking badass music playing.
Yeah.
Context context matters. I don't know. That's the thing, though. If you could, if people like what they don't like video game music is. Do you want the video game to not have music? Do you want to like play the
Have you
game?
ever, you know, Hotline Miami?
Yes. Hold on.
Have you tried playing that without a soundtrack? And by the way, the songs for that weren't created specifically for Hotline Miami. It's not an original soundtrack.
Oh yeah. It's not
It's
not
fucking
original.
so lifeless.
Oh wow. I heard of Hotline Miami, but I never played it. But as far as I know, with the gameplay, it's like a top down. You gotta
Okay,
time the
it's
shit.
it's just like the music is the big part of the soul of that game.
the soul, the bloodline, the lifeline.
Yeah,
Did-
yeah.
I think
With
yeah,
each song, you have you have feelings and memories of each level.
yeah, I think for my the outro for my videos, I think I used like the the music and not realizing it was part of a Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Hotline Miami, that's on my list. I think I listened to one of their soundtracks and it was pretty dope. So,
It's one of my
Or
favorite franchises of video games. Would recommend. It's pretty cheap on GOG or Steam. And of course, if you're really stingy, you can pirate it. For legal reasons, I do not endorse pirating.
I think there was a video that was talking about video game piracy, but
Yeah.
the debate is like very it's I don't think I would call it a sensitive topic, but I think I had a discussion with the crewmates about video game piracy, and it's like, okay, so emulation, let's take for emulation for example. It's like, how are you gonna get a hold of like really old video games? Like for example, like because I used to grow up with like some late 90s stuff
Yeah.
and the original Xbox. How are you going to get a hold of physical copies like these? Because as far as I know, I've seen when I look it up online, it's like a few $100 worth. My dude, it's like unless you unless you go somewhere in the local flea markets or some shit or like Goodwill or something, what or whatever, whatever local old video game nostalgia stores and all that, you get it like a certain price. But that's as far as I can remember. To if you're trying to find a certain video game title to keep as collection. But uh, I'm that's a too much of a derailing there. Anyway,
even go above and beyond that of what we see from traditional recording artists today.
real music versus
As
fake
we
music.
previously established, all music exists under a particular context in which it was made. The question we now have to ask is what context constitutes real music and what context constitutes fake music? I believe it's fairly
God damn
obvious
it,
that for the sake
Haseli,
of
how
this
the fuck do
discussion,
you miss your
video
debuff?
games would fall under the fake category of music. And now, the next question we have to ask is what separates video game music from other music that we see in the industry today? Well, as Pink Guy said,
Bro, I didn't even know real and fake music existed.
the concept of real and fake music is inherently stupid. Whether something is a joke, is serious, is from a video game, or is any other piece of music you can imagine, it's all real music.
Well, well, the pink guy segment right there was satire. So I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty funny. I haven't watched Pink Guy or Filthy Frank in a long time. It's like you already retired and well, Joji guy. He moved on to making music. Though I haven't really kept up with him as much in a while. So
He hasn't played
It
Desi.
just serves a different
well, what?
Filthy Frank's dead, isn't he? Well, not
Yeah,
dead,
yeah.
but like he's not working as Filthy Frank. He's George
Yeah,
Miller.
yeah. He doesn't he retired his persona or character, that is. So
purpose and acts within a different context. Instrumental hip-hop producers like Jay Dilla and Nujabes have been receiving their highly due praise in recent years, and I don't think there's a whole lot separating them from the music we hear in games. Music doesn't need to be good music to be music. It doesn't even need to be serious music to be music. When we begin to put such asinine and restrictive rules on art, we end up missing what art is truly about. Art is a medium that expresses a wide variety of different emotions and varies from culture to culture, and serves to reflect the inner thoughts and lives of those who create it.
true.
Trying to rationalize something that will never be rational is a pointless pursuit, and it's better to just accept art for what it is as opposed to what you want it to be. Calling video game music fake music is a massive disrespect to the super talented composers, producers, conductors, and instrumentalists behind what we hear in some of our favorite games. Artists today are already disrespected enough as is. The industry isn't a particularly nice place. Musicians get paid like total dog.
Where the hell is this? Where the hell is that anime? Is that from Your Lie in April?
I don't
Or
recognize it.
I don't think I don't know. Yeah, I don't recognize it. Uh, okay. What was the one YouTuber I still follow? Triple Q or whatever that dude is? I know he makes like he combines two musics all together and make it like a freaking meme
What,
like
a dual
thing.
mix or recomposes?
Recompose? I don't recall. Oh fuck, hang on. Going through my YouTube. Let's see. Okay, ignore the stupid YouTube recommendations. I listen to a lot of political
Mm.
brain rot. Was it Triple Q or Triple Q? Yeah, Triple Q. Yeah, he makes like pretty interesting like combining like certain tracks into one and all and and sometimes like it's pretty amusing to listen to. Oh god, I don't want to look at this YouTube notification. I sometimes respond to people's critiques of my Umineko visual novel readings. Okay.
Dog shit on streaming services, and fans can be all too belligerent with their ridiculous and downright destructive opinions. Art isn't about comparing things or looking for differences, but instead, it is about finding the similarities between everything, and that's what makes it beautiful.
Really? Are we really putting the Baka Mitai in there? Dame da
Why
da.
wouldn't we?
I mean, it's a good track because, like, god damn, I keep hearing it everywhere. uh, I need to get, man, I need to give the Yakuza franchise a shot one day. I know everyone was keep recommending me those Yakuza remakes.
Art is something that is very much subjective. Therefore, there's no such thing as real or fake art. All of it is simply art. Although I spoke on a wide variety of different topics, the point I'm trying to make is actually quite simple. In recent years, art has lost a lot of its value in modern culture, so it has become subject to people disrespecting a lot of artists and the art they make. Video game soundtracks are some of the most imaginative, dynamic, brilliant, and ingenious bodies of work ever made. Composers such as Koji Kondo stand among some of my favorite composers like Eric Satie and Claude Debussy because the same level of musical genius can be seen within the Ocarina of Time soundtrack as with what we see from those composers, just in a different context than what we see classical music in. In the end, art is art. There's no logical explanation or reasoning that can be made to devalue something as an artistic piece. Art is the soul of humanity. Artistic expression is human expression. And that's what's so great about it.
Oh, I remember this track. That's dope.
That's not from a video game, though.
Yeah, that's. I was like, yeah, that's the thing though. That's an anime track or soundtrack. Like,
Same thing applies, though. Some people might be like, "Oh, is it real if it's from an anime?"
oh yeah, it's also a similar argument to that too. Like, but that's the thing though, right? So the opening and ending themes are they select. I I wouldn't call it the term cherry picking, but the thing with like anime openings and endings, it also applies to context that matters. within like
Mm.
certain anime shows, right? But it's not. But I don't get. That's what confuses me about from the statement from someone where he said like, "Oh, but is it from an anime or is it because like most of the tracks from openings and endings, as far as I know, is from the J-pop scene or or hip hop or whatever you
Mm.
call it. Um,
I mean, a lot of anime openings are just music, and that's that. Simple as.
like there are some various examples for like for the anime. Like I do love the track from Fully Cool, the very old Fully Cooley as an example.
Yeah.
The ending theme. The ending theme I love. What else? There's a it's a big it's a big list. It's for me that's at the top of my head. But yeah. Is this gonna play? Yeah, it's gonna keep playing. Yeah, pretty interesting video. I wish he does more because I think now there are similar videos like these that makes the that defends that are pro music and all that, which is similar to the video game music thing. But yeah, videos like these are pretty interesting. I wish there are more. I wish for more like this because there are still people out there that complain about video game music and and then music that was used in anime. So
What
yeah,
about if it's like Radiohead that's used in anime? What then? Checkmate atheists.
radio. That's a good question. Uh, man.